Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Focus on the Fun Stuff. And for the first time, well, apart from my intro, which I did actually in my bedroom at home with my Yeti mic, for the first time, I'm in the studio on my own, and I just thought I had some time, so I'd take the opportunity to do a solo episode of Focus on the Fun Stuff. And today's topic is about something like I love talking about the things that are working well and not working so well, as the case might be. And today's topic, because I am passionate about how do you get to focus on the fun stuff? How do you get to enjoy your business and love it? And there's something that I have learned this year, which I thought might be useful for you as well. And when you have more difficult times in your business, whether it's through like growth stages or you have team members leaving, or like you have those things and it's like a bit of an upset in the business, or it feels like you need to steady the ship again a bit. Like in our business, it has been, say, when some key team members have left, or we've had growth spurts, like it's been a good thing, but then it's been a difficult thing to manage as well at the same time. I have fully realised this year that my ability to, as the business owner I'm talking about here, my ability to be enjoying what we're doing on the journey at my PA, like be fully engaged and also be fully like, I'm here for this, even when it feels difficult at work or in the office, is when I have had a really, really clear plan about where we're actually going. And this year, so for anybody that doesn't know much about my PA or my business, I've had it for 16 years. And we grew to a certain level up to 2019. And then from 2020 onwards, it was like a real growth spurt for us. For many reasons, all kind of fell into place at the right time. It was like a perfect storm of all the marketing we'd been doing, the time I had during COVID to do more of the marketing, all of kind of like the back effort of groups we were in, people that we knew. And there was this perfect storm of things that happened in 2020 that we started to grow, and we grew quickly. I actually should have brought what we grew by a lot of percentage year on year up to 2024. And so we've dealt with a lot, like we've, lots of new people. We used to be 10 people back in 2019. We're now like 35. And so we dealt with a lot, like new team members, systems, delivery, culture, happiness, finances, everything that happens as you grow in a business, and especially when it happens quite quickly at scale, and there's a lot to deal with and understand. Now, I just became hyper-aware, and it's really recently as well that this awareness has come about, in that in 2020, I also made a very specific plan for the first time ever. Like, I've had business plans, I've been in masterminds where we've all sat down together and we have crafted what we want the next year to look like. In fact, in my office, I have a framed plan that I made in a mastermind group with Nigel Bottrell back in 2014 about what I wanted to do that year. I wanted to buy myself an Evoque, apparently. I wanted to do all these things, and it was framed, and it wasn't very detailed. It was like a list of things I wanted to do. It was like revenue numbers. And to be honest, apart from that's framed in my office, which has now got a bit of dust on it, I can't say that I was yearly making very specific plans. I had thoughts, but I wasn't really sharing it with the team. And one big change that happened was in 2020. And I sat down with my business coach, Martin, and was like, I want to crack on with this business, and I want to be clear on where I'm going, because although I'd always dreamt of massive growth, I knew that I wanted my PA to be the market leading business support facility, whether it's virtual PA support, call handling, lead follow-up, whatever other services we introduce in the business. I hadn't been crystal clear on what that looks like and where we were going. And so in 2020, for the first time, I made a really crystal clear plan with Martin, shared it with my team. We called it the 60-month plan. And honestly, when I look back now, the clarity of sharing that with my leadership team, but also with the whole team, like the whole team were aware of it, and I would share our updates on a quarterly meeting. Those things really started to galvanize, everyone together, because they knew where they were going. But for me personally, as a business owner, it's so much easier. I mean, we all know the analogy of, you don't get in a car and just start driving. You have a place that you go into. And I'm not behind the door in saying it was really 2020 when after having my business at that point for 12 years, where I really got that, and I saw the impact of it on my business so specifically, because it was like, we're growing, we've got this team, and we're all harnessed around the same vision and goals. In fact, we had up on the wall I don't know what it must have been, AO, whatever the biggest thing is that they can print. It was up on the board, and it was just a very visual representation of what the business looks like in 2020 and what it was going to look like in 21, 22, 2023. And it was basically a visual representation of team numbers. So it was like all people on there and what that business would look like as it would grow. It wasn't like revenue numbers on there, but it was demonstrated via the number of people that we would have, because ultimately I have a service business and I need people to deliver the service. And at the beginning of this year, we took that board down because we'd redone our values. We needed the space on the wall, which now in hindsight is so stupid. But we took the board down, and throughout this year, I had like a real awakening, a moment, probably a couple of weeks ago now, where I realised actually the plan that's been so pivotal to bringing everybody together, to having us going in the right direction, to having us understanding what our objectives are as a company, it has faded is the wrong word, but it has become fuzzy. It has become fuzzy. Like, I don't feel like we're all so crystal clear, because we're also kind of nearing the end of that 60-month plan. And the thing is, this is not about a goal-setting episode of the podcast. This is about, I've realised that because that's become a bit less crystal clear about what we're doing next, what we're going to concentrate on in 2025, it has made my ability to, like, in the tough times, push through. It's been a bit more like going through porridge. And I've honestly, through like conversations with my team recently, through conversations with mentors and people I work with, I've realised that my business has been, I need to get back in that plan, that crystal clear vision, that goal of where we're going, because it has helped us. It has like really galvanised everyone together. But me personally, as the business owner, when you have that moment where it's like a difficult day, or it feels a bit like, in the intro episode, I talked about champagne and razor blades. And one day can feel like that. You can have something terrible happen in the morning and something equally tremendous happen in the afternoon. But when those moments happen, having a crystal clear vision of where you're going definitely makes it so much easier to get through them, to go, okay, well, fine, but we're going to do this, or this is what's most important. And just my episode today on the podcast is around about, if you're feeling any kind of I'm not quite sure, like the business is draining me, I don't go into the office as much, I'm just not feeling the vibe of it, I'm not like connecting with who I was back in the day with my business, that maybe just to look at is whether you've got a really crystal clear vision, plan. And it doesn't, and I'm not talking about like super growth. I'm talking about what's important to you. So it might be, my plan is that by the end of 2025, I'm working 4 days in the business. Or it might be that, I've now got, it might be like people, it might be that we've got a sales and marketing department, and I'm working towards that because I know that's going to free me up, or I know it's going to spur growth. Or it might be that we've just won these dream clients, and that's what I'm aiming towards because I really want to work with these businesses and make an impact. Or it might just be that in, next year, I want to make sure that I do the school run every morning, or I finish at 5, or I don't work on the weekend. Or it might be like I had a 60-month plan of growth, which is very much in this last quarter going up to the end of 2024, I'm refocused back on of going, what does this look like? What is possible for my PA like this? What do I want this to be, and to get the team really bought in? Because for my own mindset as the business owner, I know that having that really crystal clear vision of what's possible, what we're working towards, is absolutely vital for me to be energized, to be connected, to be like working my way through the days when it feels a bit more like razor blades than it does champagne. So I just thought today's episode has like been a big learning for me. Like I didn't even almost realize we didn't have the crystal clear plan because we've been so busy, because we've been growing. it's time for me to reconnect with that about where we're going, what we're doing, and sharing it with all of the team and getting their input. Maybe there is somebody out there listening to this that's going, actually, I'm not sure whether me and my team are crystal clear on what we're doing and where we're going. Because when you have that and it's motivating and it's somewhere to move towards, then it might just be the thing that helps you to focus on the fun stuff more in your business. And that's what I want for me, and I want it for you as well. I hope today's episode has been helpful, and I will see you next week.